It's the kind of moment that makes your heart drop. One minute, fans are scrolling through their feeds, maybe half watching a rerun of Sister Wives, and the next, the entire internet is on fire. Screenshots start flying, group chats light up, and suddenly everyone's talking about the same thing. A leaked document, a private ledger, and a number that just doesn't add up. $150,000. Gone. No explanation, no warning. Just a cold, hard line in a spreadsheet that was never meant to see the light of day. And just like that, the Brown family's carefully crafted image shatters. The secrets they thought were safe are out in the open, and nothing feels certain anymore. Hi friends, I'm Sophie, and this is TLC's Sister Wives Recaps. If you're as shocked as I am, hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments what your first reaction was when you heard about this leak. Because honestly, I still can't believe it. We've watched this family for years, through heartbreak, through new babies, through every awkward dinner and teary confessional. But this is different. This is betrayal, not just between the Browns, but between them and every single person who's ever rooted for them. Kody Brown, the man who's always insisted he's doing his best for his family, suddenly looks like he's been playing a different game behind the scenes. Robyn, the wife who's often painted as the outsider or the favorite, is now at the center of a storm she can't control. Janelle, who's pinched pennies and sacrificed more than anyone, is left wondering if she's been lied to all along. Christine, who finally found the courage to walk away, is watching the fallout from a distance, maybe feeling vindicated, maybe just heartbroken. And Mary, who's weathered more public humiliation than anyone deserves, is silent, but you can feel her anger simmering just below the surface. And then there's TLC, the network that turned this family into a household name, now scrambling to figure out how much they really know about the people they've been filming for over a decade. The production team, the editors, the crew, suddenly, everyone's wondering if they've been part of something much bigger and much messier than they ever realized. This isn't just another Sister Wives scandal. This is the moment everything changes. The trust is broken. The questions are piling up. And for the first time, it feels like the truth might actually come out. The document itself is almost boring at first glance. Just a spreadsheet, a list of expenses, the kind of thing you'd expect to see in any business. But buried in the middle, there it is. A line marked private disbursement, and next to it, $150,000. No details, no recipient, just a date that lines up a little too perfectly with a string of Robyn's recent shopping trips. Fans who've been watching closely remember the episode where Kody sits at the kitchen table, talking about how tight money has gotten, how everyone needs to sacrifice, how the family can't afford to be flashy anymore. But then, almost in the same breath, Robyn is spotted in Flagstaff, arms full of high-end shopping bags, a new gold pendant glinting around her neck, and a smile that doesn't look the least bit worried. It doesn't take long for the internet to put two and two together. Screenshots of the ledger start circulating on Reddit, Facebook, and TikTok. People zoom in, adjust the contrast, and start matching fonts and watermarks to TLC's official paperwork. Someone even notices a faint capital R peeking out from under a digital gray bar, and suddenly the speculation explodes. Is this Robyn's payout? Did she really just walk away with a chunk of the family's money while everyone else was told to tighten their belts? The outrage is instant. Fans who've spent years defending Robyn, insisting she's misunderstood, are suddenly quiet. The ones who always suspected favoritism are feeling vindicated. And the rest? They're just angry. They're just angry. Angry that the family they've invested so much in might have been hiding something this big. Angry that Kody, who's always preached about unity and sacrifice, could be the one signing off on secret withdrawals. But it doesn't stop there. The sleuthing goes into overdrive. Fans start pulling up old episodes, looking for clues they might have missed. They compare the dates on the ledger to scenes where Robyn is seen with new jewelry, new clothes, even a new car. Someone finds a blurry photo of a white Cadillac Escalade parked outside a Flagstaff Whole Foods, and within hours, the internet has matched the make, model, and even the temporary tags to the timeline of the missing money. Every new detail just adds fuel to the fire. The more people dig, the more it looks like this wasn't just a one-time thing. There are whispers about other large withdrawals, about LLCs and shell companies, about money moving around in ways that don't make sense. And through it all, the sense of betrayal just keeps growing. Fans who once saw the Browns as relatable, as struggling like everyone else, now feel like they've been played. The trust is gone, and in its place is a determination to get answers, no matter how deep they have to dig. The fallout from the Ledger leak hits the Brown family like a tidal wave. For Janelle, it's not just about the money, it's about trust, respect, and years of sacrifice that suddenly feel meaningless. She's the one who's always made do with less, who lived in an RV on Coyote Pass through freezing winters and blistering summers, all for the promise of a future that now looks like a lie. When the news breaks, Janelle doesn't just sit back and stew. She demands answers. She sends emails to Kody, to the production team, to anyone who might have a copy of the expense reports. She wants to see every dollar, every receipt, every transfer since 2020. It's not about drama for her. It's about finally getting the truth. But Kody doesn't give her the transparency she's asking for. Instead, he turns defensive, even angry. In a group call with TLC's legal liaison, he points the finger at Janelle, blaming her for the family's financial mess. He brings up her RV lifestyle, her decision to pay for her kids' education out of her own pocket, as if those choices are the reason the family's bank account is bleeding. For fans who've watched Janelle quietly hold the family together for years, it's a slap in the face. The woman who's sacrificed the most is now being blamed for the fallout. Christine, watching from the outside, sees it all unfold. She's been through her own battles with Kody, her own heartbreak, and her own journey to independence. Now she's not saying much, but her social media speaks volumes. A simple Instagram story. Some debts can't be repaid in dollars. No names, no details, but everyone knows who she's talking about. It's a quiet kind of strength, the kind that comes from surviving the worst and coming out the other side with your dignity intact. Mary, as always, is harder to read. She's been burned before. By Kody, by the other wives, by the public. She doesn't post angry rants or call anyone out by name. Instead, she shares a blurry photo of a jigsaw puzzle missing its centerpiece, captioned with a single word, exactly. It's the kind of post that makes you stop and think, that hints at pain and frustration without ever saying it out loud. The divide between the wives and Kody and Robyn grows wider with every passing day. What used to be a family, however complicated, now feels like two separate camps. On one side, Janelle and Christine, bonded by shared struggle and a need for honesty. On the other, Kody and Robyn, surrounded by suspicion and whispers of favoritism. The tension is thick, and for the first time, it feels like there's no going back. The wounds are too deep, the secrets too big, and the trust too broken. The family that once prided itself on unity is now splintered, and everyone is left wondering what comes next. Behind the scenes, TLC is thrown into chaos. The network that spent years turning the Browns' lives into must-watch TV suddenly finds itself at the center of a real-life scandal. Executives are scrambling, worried not just about ratings, but about what might come out if the wrong people start asking questions. There's a sense of panic in the air, emails flying, emergency meetings, and a lot of nervous glances between producers who thought they'd seen it all. The last thing anyone at TLC wants is for this mess to end up in court, where every contract, every payment, every off-the-books expense could be dragged into the light. Production feels the pressure immediately. Budgets are slashed, and the crew is told to cut back on everything that isn't absolutely necessary. Off-site interviews get canceled, location shoots are scaled down, and the usual perks that made the job bearable start to disappear. Cameramen and producers, already used to the Browns family drama, now find themselves caught in the crossfire of something much bigger. Some ask to be reassigned, not wanting to get pulled into a legal fight that could follow them for years. Even the editors are on edge, getting last-minute instructions to soften any scenes that mention money, to avoid anything that might look suspicious if lawyers start watching. The network's legal team steps in, quietly hiring outside accountants to review the last few seasons' payments and reimbursements. They're not just worried about the Browns, they're worried about themselves. If it turns out that production funds were used for personal luxuries or that the network looked the other way while money was being shuffled around, TLC could be facing more than just bad press. The risk of subpoenas, audits, and lawsuits is suddenly very real. Meanwhile, the fans aren't just watching, they're investigating. What started as a few Reddit threads quickly turns into a full-blown movement. Viewers start tracking every suspicious purchase, every timeline inconsistency, every unexplained upgrade in the Browns' lifestyle. Spreadsheets pop up online, color-coded and cross-referenced with episode air dates, social media posts, and county property records. A retired CPA from Utah becomes a minor celebrity in fan groups after sharing her own breakdown of the family's finances, complete with tabs for every questionable transaction. It's not just about gossip anymore. The audience feels like they're part of the story, part of the hunt for the truth. Every new leak, every blurry photo, every cryptic post from a Brown family member is dissected and debated in real time. The line between show and reality blurs, and for the first time, it feels like the fans might actually have the power to force real answers. The Browns aren't just reality stars anymore. They're the subjects of a public investigation, and the whole world is watching to see what happens next. Janelle's patience finally runs out. After years of waiting for promises to turn into reality, she takes the step that changes everything. She files a legal claim against Kody's share of Coyote Pass. It's not a bluff. She's got paperwork, receipts, and a list of every dollar she's poured into that land. Money for septic systems, legal fees, and all the infrastructure she paid for herself while living in that RV. The message is clear. She wants her investment back, and she's not going to let Kody or anyone else walk away with what she's earned. For Kody and Robyn, this is a nightmare. If Janelle's claim holds up, Kody can't sell, refinance, or even split the land without settling with her first. Suddenly, the dream of building a family compound is tangled up in legal red tape, and the power dynamic shifts overnight. But the legal drama doesn't stop there. County records show Robyn files her own document, a declaration of homestead, trying to stake a claim on Coyote Pass as her primary residence, even though she's never actually lived there. It's a move that raises eyebrows and sets off a new round of speculation. Is she trying to protect herself if things get ugly? Is this about securing her own future, or is it just another way to keep the other wives out? The timing is suspicious, coming right after Janelle's legal move, and just as the production window for the new season is closing. It feels like everyone is scrambling to protect themselves, and no one is willing to trust anyone else. Meanwhile, whispers of a whistleblower start to circulate. A former crew member, maybe an editor or an assistant, is rumored to be working with a lawyer, requesting access to contracts, tax records, and production logs. The possibility of someone from inside the show stepping forward with receipts is enough to make everyone at TLC nervous. If a lawsuit is filed, it won't just be the Browns under the microscope. It'll be the network, the producers, and anyone who signed off on those payments. The threat of discovery means every email, every text, every behind-the-scenes conversation could become evidence. The stakes have never been higher. For the family, the fallout is personal. The bonds that once held them together are fraying. Janelle and Christine, once united by hope, are now united by frustration and a need for justice. Mary, always on the outside, watches as the family she tried so hard to belong to tears itself apart. Kody, who built his identity on being the patriarch, is suddenly powerless, his authority slipping away with every new legal filing. Robyn, who once seemed untouchable, is now at the center of a storm she can't control. For the fans, it's a mix of heartbreak and vindication. People who've watched for years, who've rooted for these women to find happiness and independence, now see the cost of all those secrets. The show that started as a story about love, Ian Faith has become a cautionary tale about money, power, and what happens when trust is broken. The audience isn't just watching, they're demanding answers, sharing theories, and holding the Browns and TLC accountable in a way that's never happened before. As the dust settles, one thing is clear. Nothing will ever be the same. The future of Sister Wives hangs in the balance. Will the truth finally come out? Will the family find a way to heal, or is this the end of the road? I want to know what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit subscribe if you want to keep following this story, and let's see where the truth takes us next. This is Sophie, and you've been watching TLC's Sister Wives Recaps.